come over. No, I'm just kidding. 40, but the sticks come on in.
He rose from total obscurity to take down one of the biggest names in Fortnite at just 14 years old. He pulled off moves people twice his age couldn't dream of, racked up millions of followers, and found himself the center of attention in every hallway at his school. Then, just as fast as he appeared, he vanished. One day, he was bagging tens of thousands of viewers on Twitch and hanging with global stars. Next, he couldn't crack 5 digits on a channel with 1 million subscribers. So, how does that happen? How does someone go from gaming prodigy to complete irrelevance while still in their teens? This is the story of Skeptic, the kid who killed Tfue, soared to unimaginable heights, and then drifted into the shadows. It all began in June of 2018, back when Fortnite was on top of the world, and so was one of its finest players, Tfue. Streamers everywhere had shot at fame simply by going toe-to-toe with him, but nobody expected a 14-year-old named Skeptic to stroll in and take him out in spectacular fashion. Skeptic was just another face in the lobby, broadcasting to a tiny handful of viewers and playing on autopilot. Little did he know, one random match would forever change his life. In the space of a single build battle, he outplayed Tfue so cleanly that he didn't even lose a single HP. That short clip, uploaded as Skeptic's very first YouTube video, blew up to millions of views. He went from, "Who's that kid?" to "Oh my gosh, it's him," in a matter of days, and the snowball just kept rolling. Streams exploded with new watchers, YouTube subscribers climbed, and fan messages poured in. He was young, bold, and unstoppable. As July melted into August, Skeptic found himself in talks with multiple esports organizations. Even in the golden age of Fortnite, it wasn't every day you saw an 8th grader sign a professional contract. He officially joined Misfits Gaming, raising eyebrows across the scene. You'd think that level of success, tens of thousands of new followers per month, would faze a teenager, but Skeptic thrived on it. He dyed his hair a bright electric shade of blue, and soon people were calling him Mini Ninja, which was both a nod to Ninja's fame and a way of saying Skeptic was set to become the next unstoppable sensation. He even showed off his $15,000 gaming setup, complete with top-of-the-line monitors, a decked-out PC, and everything a young streamer dreams of. Millions of new viewers ate it up, amazed that a high school freshman could fund hardware people twice his age might never afford. After crossing the 1 million subscriber milestone, Skeptic returned to his old school and quickly discovered he was a local celebrity. Kids treated him like a superstar, begging for selfies and chanting his name in the halls. Imagine being a young teen who's suddenly the talk of your entire town, not just an online face. Fame like that can do strange things to your head, and perhaps that's where the cracks first began. When you rise that quickly, you're bound to slip up somewhere along the way. And for Skeptic, that moment came only 8 days after celebrating his 1 million subscriber plaque. Someone uploaded a video calling him out for allegedly staging parts of his content. These claims didn't suggest he was faking his actual gameplay. He was still every bit the talented player who outbuilt Tfue. Instead, the accusation revolved around certain skit-style Fortnite videos he'd posted for laughs. A chunk of his audience felt betrayed, believing he'd pulled a fast one on them. To his credit, Skeptic wasted no time addressing the backlash. He made an apology video, looking uncomfortable but also regretful, talking about being 14 and making mistakes. Yet no matter how sincere he sounded, the views on his follow-up content dipped noticeably. A segment of his fan base just couldn't look past the faked footage, and his lightning-hot momentum cooled for the first time. Even so, he was still riding high overall. The controversies drew attention, and there were plenty of viewers who stuck around. Misfits Gaming came out with a mini documentary on Skeptic's life that racked up millions of views, an astounding feat for a kid not old enough to drive. Then, in an odd turn of events, Skeptic found himself embroiled in more online drama with another young Fortnite pro, TSM Slappy. The spat was minor, but fueled more interest in these teenage gaming wonderkinds. Brands and audiences love that kind of friction, and Skeptic's popularity stayed afloat. Soon after, he landed a collaboration with none other than Marshmello, whipping up a cooking session that netted another few million views. Skeptic seemed unstoppable. Every new day brought him fresh opportunities. That was the prelude to the biggest moment in Fortnite's competitive history, the Fortnite World Cup. Epic Games announced a massive prize pool, and global qualifiers began. Doubters sniped at Skeptic, calling him overrated and claiming he'd never hack it in top-tier competition. To prove them wrong, he teamed up with another ambitious teen named Clix, a small streamer known for elite-level gameplay. The duo quickly proved they were no joke, racking up good placements during the qualifiers. Clix even qualified for solos multiple times. By this point, both players were only 15, yet they consistently outplayed far older competitors to punch their ticket to the grand finals in New York City. On the day of the World Cup, Skeptic found himself face-to-face with his biggest test yet. Over 19,000 people packed the stadium, and millions tuned in at home. The potential prize for first place was $3 million, and the atmosphere was electric. Skeptic and Clix didn't have the best start, failing to make a splash in the first couple of games. Then, in a move that's now part of Fortnite history, Skeptic performed an in-real-life version of the Take the L emote on a big screen, only to get obliterated moments later by two top-tier players. Social media lit up with reactions. Some laughed, some cringed, but nearly everyone was talking about him. It showcased exactly what made Skeptic so popular in the first place, an irrepressible sense of showmanship that overshadowed minor missteps. Though they finished 35th overall, Skeptic and Clix still walked away with $50,000 in winnings. It was a life-changing amount of money for any kid, and the exposure was worth far more. The whole world got a glimpse of Skeptic's personality, plus his last-minute clutch moments proved he did have real skill. Yet that same electricity that had drawn crowds to him was about to spark a dramatic fallout. Only 2 days after the World Cup, Clix announced on Twitter that he was done partnering with Skeptic. Fans were shocked. This wasn't supposed to happen right after you pocketed 50 grand together. Clix's explanation? They just didn't mesh well, and it was time to move on. Skeptic fired back with a tweet claiming that he had decided they should split, and hinted he was carrying more of the weight. Whatever the real story, the community sided heavily with Clix, accusing Skeptic of letting his ego run wild. It all ended with them publicly squashing the beef, but the damage lingered. That was the turning point. From the outside, it might have looked like Skeptic would find another partner, keep streaming, and bounce back. Yet by the end of 2019, Fortnite's overall popularity was in decline. The game was still big, but it wasn't the cultural phenomenon it had been a year prior. Meanwhile, Skeptic's numbers dropped like a rock. In half a year, he lost 3/4 of his monthly YouTube views, sliding from around 5 million in the summer to around 1 million by January 2020. Comments started rolling in about how he'd fallen off, and his once welcoming audience now felt more hostile than supportive. This was the toxic downside of early fame. A crowd that lifts you up fast can turn on you even faster. On top of that, many believed Skeptic's skill at Fortnite had stagnated. He couldn't keep up with younger, hungrier pros like his ex-duo partner Clix, who continued performing at a top level. While Clix went on to dominate tournaments and solidify himself as one of the biggest names in the scene, Skeptic struggled to prove he still had that same fire. By 2020, Skeptic's uploads slowed down, and his views sank below 20,000, numbers that once would have been unthinkable. He could have revived his audience by streaming more or adapting, but maybe the hunger just wasn't there anymore. When you've already made serious money at 15, it's hard to stay driven. Negative comments calling him washed didn't help either. He drifted into other interests, like fitness, and then made a sharp pivot into NFTs. In 2021, he started tweeting about digital art, spending thousands on mutant apes, and promoting NFT giveaways. Fans were confused. Many saw it as a tone-deaf cash grab. Some unfollowed him altogether. Then came his own project, Boxer Apes. He hyped it hard, but as the crypto hype crashed, so did the momentum. The project faded, the Twitter account vanished, and fans felt betrayed. The kid they followed for Fortnite was now shilling NFTs, and they weren't buying it. Skeptic's uploads became rare, and when he did post, hardly anyone watched. His once hyped channel had gone silent, and by 2023, he'd vanished across all platforms. Fans flooded his comments with "you fell off," and speculation grew. Was he burned out, bored, or just done? But here's the twist. Skeptic is still only 18. He lived a lifetime's worth of fame before most people finish high school. Millions earned, top-tier tournaments, and global attention. Maybe he lost interest. Maybe he outgrew it. Either way, his rise remains legendary. That moment he outplayed Tfue, it'll always be Fortnite history. Maybe he'll return, maybe he won't. But his story proves one thing: not every star fades, some just choose a different sky.